Hey, thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate those of you that have been commenting and showing me some love, leaving likes on the videos. It's really been helping out. It encourages me to make these type of videos, and I definitely want to keep doing some more. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of backstory on what's going on this video. This isn't a crazy overgrown lawn. This isn't a free cut. I do charge for this, full disclosure. But these are my least profitable yards, my least two profitable yards. I cut them a lot cheaper than I cut my other properties. It's a 50-year-old gentleman and a 70-year-old gentleman right next to each other. The 50-year-old is my uncle. He struggles out in the heat. He has low stamina, and he doesn't really care what the yard looks like as long as it's beat down so that his dogs don't get fleas and stuff. The neighbor that is just to the, it would have been on the left of them if you saw in the beginning of the video with the boat. He's just really old and can't really keep up with his lawn. He can go out there and cut it, but it takes him a long time. So I don't get rid of the properties. I just cut them at a discounted price because, well, one of them's family and then the other guy is right next door, and I know if I were to stop cutting his property at the right price or at the low price, then he would struggle to cut it. And I'm like, I'm already here, I might as well. I just take the hit on the price and I cut it. But because of the low price, I genuinely, when I'm on the property, I'm pretty fast. I blow through it. I just knock everything down and beat it up, and I don't really take my time and make it look as good as it could. So I've been doing a lot of free videos lately, and I figured, you know what? Why don't I do something nice for the people that have been taking care of me for a little while? They've been paying me for a couple years to cut their property. It's not a lot of money, but they do like my service, and I figured I would just do something nice for them, and I would really trim up their property good this time around. I was gonna go through and I was gonna edge it up real nice and sharp. I was gonna bevel all the edges. I was gonna just make sure that when I left there, their yard was going to be the nicest yard on the block. When people drove by, they were going to be like, wow, I want my yard to look like that. So I decided to just put in a little bit of extra work on this one and make it look really, really good. Like normally you see me right here with the weed eater. I would not be doing this with my weed eater. I would run that over with my mower and just keep going. I would just be really fast, really efficient on this. I rarely ever edge out this driveway and line up the lines perfectly. I just kind of whip my weed eater down the side of it, get the bulk of the grass off of it, and go. I do a great job because like I said, it's my least profitable yard, or the two least profitable yards I have, and the homeowners don't really care whether or not I do those sorts of things on it. I've asked them in the past, like, hey, do you want me to do this stuff? And they're like, I just don't want the grass tall. But I figured, I've been doing a lot of free ones lately, and if I'm going to do free properties, I might as well take care of the people that have been paying me for a while to do their lawn, and I know can't afford to pay extra to have me do a full-on cleanup or restoration on their yard. So I figured both these guys have birthdays in June. Why not do something nice for them? I get to make some content on it, so it's a win-win. I'll make myself a nice video for YouTube, and they'll get a really premium looking yard. Like I said, it definitely turns into a head turner towards the end. I was really happy with it. I still need to trim that bush you see in the picture right now. I didn't go through and trim that up. I trimmed it up probably like a month or two ago. I didn't do a great job on that either. I just kind of whipped it into shape. I didn't make it look all sharp. There's actually a little hackberry tree growing up in it. I always weed eat, and I do edge, but very, very quickly. I don't ever care about whether the lines line up. I'm just whipping everything down and moving on, whipping everything down and moving on. And it's a better job than the homeowners themselves would do for their property, so they're happy with it. I have a feeling after they see that's a paper plate in the video right there. I have a feeling after they see the quality that I put on their yard this time around, that they might change their minds on the how they like their yard looking, because I definitely left it looking really crispy, really nice. When people drive by, it's definitely gonna turn heads. They're gonna be like, wow, that is the nicest looking lawns in the area. And like right here, you see this area is really wet. There's an air conditioner. It's just out of frame, but I usually just run this over with my Toro grandstand, and then I whip the weed eat real fast through here, and I usually leave some stragglers behind. It's just, I'm quick about it. I'm in and out. I'm not as detailed as I could be. On this one, I went through real nice and slow, and I made sure to get every little thing. Normally underneath this boat, I don't hunch down like this and try and level everything out perfectly. I just stick the head of the weed eater under there, and you know, if I scalp the yard a little bit, I scalp the yard. They don't really care. The homeowner won't move the boat, so I honestly can't reach it very well. And I have that Darwin grip on my weed eater so that I don't throw my back out trying to weed eat. Because if you're out there all day and you're hunched over, it's harmful to your back. So I usually just whip this down and I move on pretty quick. But like I said, this time I wanted to go through and I wanted to get everything looking real sharp, real nice for them, you know, just as a thank you, as you know, for their loyalty, as you know, over the years. And you know, I want to make sure that, you know, they're happy with the product, or that they're happy with the service, not the product that's performed. And I think that, you know, they normally are really happy with it, but I'm just not this detailed. I'm not this sharp with everything. As you can see right now, I'm edging this out, and the lines are just dead straight. I'm taking my time. I'm digging down a little deeper in the dirt. I'm making sure that there's a definitive straight line there. They're not going to be able to walk up and not notice how straight that is. I'm beveling everything out. I'm making sure that I get every little straggler. Everything's nice and smooth. I'm not leaving any debris left on the property. You see, I'm really hunching over there, getting up underneath that boat right now. I normally do not go that far. I just hold the head of the weed eater there, knock everything down, and it's honestly pretty uneven. They've got a couple stray cats. That's what that bowl is right there on the ground. They like to put some food in there for them, a little bit of water every now and then. Normally I just, you know, weed around that and go. I did that kind of this time too, but I made sure to move the bowl a little bit and, you know, get the grass that was underneath it too. I don't leave the yard looking bad when I cut it. I'm just not as detailed as I am in this cut for sure. But like I said, I wanted to take care of the people that were taking care of me, and they're older guys. I know they can't get out here and do this. I mean, they probably could, but the amount of time that it would take them to do this versus me to do it, I just, you know what I mean? They would never put in that effort and make their yard look this sharp. So this is something I can do for them. You know, I can not charge extra like I normally would to get a yard in like the most pristine shape, and I can just accept that I'm going to take a little bit of a hit on this one, and you know, get their yard looking really sharp for them. That's kind of the goal of today's video. Again, not an overgrown one, not a crazy cleanup, not a violation or anything like that. Not free. I did charge for these properties. It was not nearly enough. I haven't been charging enough for years. With gas prices the way they are right now, I probably don't make much on these properties at all. I just have some other properties in the area that are profitable, so I mean, it just makes sense to help these guys out and, you know, let them pay what they can, basically. Could I get the other, you know, some more money out of them? I probably could, but I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna gouge these guys. I know they're on fixed income, so it's, you know, it's not worth a couple dollars to me to, you know, make them come out here and, you know, kill themselves in the heat to try and make their, to just beat their yard down and not let it look good. Well, you saw me doing right there, edging out that water and gas, water and gas access points right there. I normally don't do that. I normally just fly over it with my mower and keep going, and then that's it right there. Like, I don't usually get down in people's flower beds or anything like that, but this time I leveled everything out through there. I mean, I always get up underneath this tree and everything like that. I don't leave tall grass anywhere. I do have, you know, pride in my work, and, you know, it's my reputation. When people drive by and they see a bad looking yard, they know that I deliver a bad product. So I don't do that, but I just don't make them this crispy. You'll see in the end of the video, they turned out really, really, really sharp. I mowed them lower than I typically do. I typically cut these on 3 inches, and I wanted to make sure that because I leveled everything out with the weed eater, like you're seeing right here, the string trimmer, I wanted the cut line to match that with my mower. I normally don't take that much care on these properties. Like I said, I just whip everything down and then go as fast as possible to get in and out. This time, like I said, I cut them really short. I think I cut them on 2.5 inches. That way that they would match all of my weed eater lines. That way the yard blended really nice. Like this area right here, I'm actually in the neighbor's property right here. I usually don't mow all this. I usually just fly by with my weed eater, mow what the property line down, and then I move on. And it honestly doesn't look that great. It's only a few extra seconds of my time, but I usually don't do it. This time I decided to invade the neighbor's property and get the whole yard looking really good. These yards are bi-weekly. I do show up every couple weeks to cut them, and they're always a little tall. But I never cut them as short as you see me cutting right here on the 0 turn. Like I said, this is 2.5 inches. It's probably as short as I'll ever cut these properties. My 0 turn would definitely start scalping if I went any lower than this. I honestly think this is as low as I could possibly cut these. But because they have a lesser quality grass, they have a lot of weeds, they have a lot of just volunteer stuff in their lawn, cutting the properties this low definitely makes them look better because it just blends everything in a little bit better. The weeds hide in with the regular grass versus just being distinguishable when I cut them on about 3 inches. So I left the property looking in a lot better shape than I normally do. I mean, you can see it right here. It's really coming together. Once I blow everything off towards the end, you're going to see just how clean these properties look. I mean, I was really happy with the condition of the properties whenever I left them. I honestly probably will continue to cut them like this just because I want to continue seeing them at this level of, quality. And whether it gets me any business or not, I know they're going to be happy with it. I haven't got a chance to talk to them about it yet, but I know that when they see these properties, they're going to be, they're going to be like, wow, my yard looks good. It's not, thank you for cutting it. It's, wow, my yard looks good. And I wanted to give that to these guys because, like I said, I've been doing a lot of free cuts lately. And I guess I was just feeling a little bit guilty, like, hey, I'm charging people money and not delivering the same level of service that I'm delivering on these free cuts. So I was like, you know what, let me get in here. And these are the only 2 yards that I usually skimp on just because of how non-profitable they are. And I was like, let me get in here and let me bust these things down. Let me eat up this extra grass. That's what I'm doing right now. All those grass clippings you're seeing, that's because I never cut this lawn this low. I'm having to go over it a couple times to get that grass off the yard and mulch it up some more. I don't have a mulch kit for my mower, so all I can do is just go over it a couple times, spread it out, mulch it up some more, and it'll end up blowing a little bit in the street, but I do blow that off before I leave the property. I don't ever leave the curb line anywhere I go full of grass because I'm a motorcycle rider, and I really hate whenever people leave the side of the road or the side of the ground covered in grass, because if I were to drive by and hit my brakes, I would, I could potentially slide out and hurt myself. So I make a habit to always blow everything off. Not that I wouldn't, even if I wasn't a motorcycle rider. It just looks better that way. It doesn't look tacky. It looks just a lot more professional and clean. Everything just looks really nice whenever you go through and you take your time to blow it all off, blow the rest of the grass back up in the yard. That way nothing, just looks out of place. Everything looks sharp and clean and the way that it should be whenever you leave a property. I always do that on all my properties. It looked a lot better this time because of how sharp I made all these edge lines. My blower is really powerful, so it blows the crap out of this. And honestly, I had to cut some of it out right here, but I blew a lot up in the neighbor's yard. I had to swing by and here in a second and go blow their driveway back off because I blew a lot of it up in their driveway, and I wasn't about to leave that on someone's property that I'm not maintaining. You can see, here it is, guys. It's looking real crispy.
Running out of GoPro battery again. I just wanted to stop and give you an update. I took 2 of my elders.
This is just me, talking to the camera at the end right here. If you want to hear the audio better, what's going on, what I'm saying, I do have an uncommentary version of the video, which will be posted as well. This will be the commentary version, just kind of me talking about the things I did and, going over the results of the property with you guys. This is just something I do for myself, at the end of the video, just kind of a timestamp for me, letting me know, at the end of the property. I like to talk to you guys, kind of let you know a little bit about the property and what I did, but I don't go into too great a detail because I know a lot of you guys just want to see the mowing. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, if you liked hanging out with me, I really appreciate it. I'm just a, a simple guy. I'm a Tulsa guy. I'm just out here trying to make a living, and I have some buddies that encouraged me to start making these YouTube videos. So if you like the content, please leave me a like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. I'm going to be making a lot of content because I have plenty of stuff to do out here. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next one. Stay big.